This is the Village of Peotone Committee of the Whole for March 23rd, 2015. Clerk, please call the attendance.
Mr. Reichert?
Here.
Mr. Hupkey?
Here.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Here.
Mr. Callahan? Mr. Forsythe?
Here. Okay, let the record show that we have enough trustees to conduct official business. First order of business, the minutes of February 23rd, 2015 Committee of the Whole meeting. Trustees, I will entertain a motion to approve them as submitted, or if you find reason to correct them, let us know what that reason might be.
Motion. Second.
Motion by trustee Hupkey, seconded by trustee Forsythe to approve the minutes as presented for February 23rd, 2015. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Hupkey?
Yes.
Mr. Forsythe?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Reichert?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. You just walked in the door, but it's time for public comment if you have comment.
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Trustees, general discussion. I'm going to give you an update on a couple of things. First of all, relative to the governor, he met with the Will County Governmental League on Wednesday a week ago. On Friday a week ago, he also met with the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus in Chicago. And at that same meeting, while that meeting was going on, he also met with South Suburban mayors and managers. I was at all three meetings. Relative to his position and what was discussed concerning the local distributive fund, he had a handout that he gave, and I can copy it off and give it to you. It's a series of articles that were taken from editorials and other things at different places in the country about changes that need to be made in government. But his comments relative to the local distributive fund was that it's still on his list, and however, if the legislature would go along with, I think he's got 8 different initiatives, and approve those in this session, there probably would not be a need to take that money from us. Now, his initiatives, the long and short of that, come out to be funding education, restructuring the tax system, and I'm not totally sure how that's going to happen. He's also after doing things relative to the, let me see, I think I got the bullets here. Having all governmental units having to pay the prevailing wage for contracts. That was part of his, he wants to change that. Anyhow, his remark was, everything is subject to discussion. Also, interestingly enough, 3 different groups he talked to, okay? Will County, where various mayors stood up and asked questions relative to his plans and the impact on the local distributive fund. He was not combative. He was, let's discuss and let's get people together on this. By Friday, when he talked to the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, which are mayors from as far away as Rockford, the Wisconsin border, and as far south as us, the comments that came out were very similar. There were also some things relative to railroad safety and a few other issues that people had. And I noticed he was much more, it's kind of like there's a realization of this is a much tougher issue than he originally thought. So, when we got into a private meeting with South Suburban mayors and managers and the governor at the Thompson Building in his conference room, the summary of that was, again, the impact on the areas of different things, and there were some concerns that relative to the airport, relative to the Ileana, which his addressing of it, because I raised the question, and where we at on all this at the Will County Governmental League, to which he responded, we're studying this. I've got a team of people, we're studying this, and I haven't made up my mind on either one, okay? And he also, as many folks are who are very good in political positions, he gave enough information so that you could, if you chose to read into it, because he's very much in favor of infrastructure improvements, and he's going to do a lot in that regard, and also sees the importance of aviation. So you can read any way you wanted to into his remarks. And, anyhow, so that's where it's at, and I figured this is a little bit easier time to bring it up than to take a long time to discuss it in the next meeting where we're going to vote on it. That's all I can give you on his position on it. If anybody has any questions, I'll try and answer them. One thing I want to point out is we've only been in mayors and managers for a month, and we already got a meeting with the governor as a private group, which we hadn't been able to get from some of the other groups we were in. So I think our money is well spent in that regard. Okay. Getting back to the general discussion, any topics that you wish to bring up for discussion at this point in time?
Any updates from the Buxton group?
Yeah, they are providing us with the updated list of retail batch folks that we've got. We haven't gotten that yet. It's the 20 top businesses that match us.
How long have they been doing this? Trying to get this together for us?
What's this been? Month?
Perhaps. They changed their methodology
Yeah.
to be more specific, so.
No,
I'm sorry.
please go ahead.
They changed their methodology, that's one reason it's taking longer this time.
Yeah. They're taking a broader look at things in terms of some people will travel further for some services than they will for others.
Possibly, they should have did that 2 years ago.
Well,
I'm just saying, I'm just not really happy.
The village sent out contact letters to most of the entities that we matched up with, is that right?
yes.
Did we hear anything back at all from any of them, as far as no thanks, or we'll look at it in the future? I mean, what have we gotten back?
Very little contact.
Okay, so we've sent out, but heard very little in response.
Yeah.
And we sent some follow-up contacts, and some of those people we also talked to at the Chicago Make a Deal convention. so.
Okay, but nothing more than just casual discussions? No, we'll look into it or anything like that?
Some of them had already looked into it,
Yeah.
so.
Other questions? I think what the important thing here is when we get what we get back, we'll get it to you. And I've conveyed the frustration to them. All right. If there are no other topics to discuss, I would like to suggest that we go into executive session for the purpose of personnel, employment, appointment, compensation, discipline, performance, dismissal of specific employees, relative to salary and other items.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Motion by trustee Hupkey, seconded by trustee Forsythe to go into executive session for the discussion of personnel as listed. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Hupkey.
Yes.
Mr. Forsythe.
Yes.
Mr. Callahan.
Yes.
Mr. Hack.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Riker.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. We will go into executive session. There is no action that's going to take place on